So blood is the fluid connective tissue of our body. It contains RBCs that are known as the red blood cells. Okay. Now, the blood also contains WBC. Do you know what is the full form of WBC?
White blood
White
cells.
blood cells.
Very good. White blood cells. And then there is plasma, which is actually the fluid matrix of the blood. Okay, plasma. So let us see what are the components of this plasma. So the components of the plasma. So inside the plasma, you can say that proteins are present, certain salts are present, hormones are also present in the plasma. Okay. So what are the three components of the blood? There is WBC, there is RBC, and then there is plasma. Inside the plasma, there is proteins, salts, and hormones present. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You people are able to hear me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us see what is the function of blood. See, in the question form, they may ask you as to like, what are the functions of the fluid connective tissue? So you must know that the fluid connective tissue is what?
Blood.
Blood. In our body, the blood is the fluid connective tissue. Now, the transport of gases, the transport of digested food and hormones and waste materials to the different parts of the body, that is done by the blood. So what is the function of blood? So you can say that transport of gases, transport of digested food, transports of hormones, transport of waste materials to the different parts of the body. That is the function of blood. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know which gases are actually transported by the blood? The name of two gases?
It's
Oxygen, carbon dioxide.
Very good. Oxygen and carbon dioxide are the two types of gases that are transported by the blood. Okay?
okay.
So blood is the fluid connective tissue. Okay? So is the first type of connective tissue clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Very good.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Okay. Now let us move on to the next type of connective tissue, that is the bone. Okay. Now, bone is another type of connective tissue, and basically it forms the framework of our body, isn't it? The skeleton of the body is formed by bones only, and it is nothing but the framework of our body. Now, apart from forming the framework of our body, the bone, it anchors the muscle, isn't it? It like the muscles attached to the bone. And apart from that, the bones, they also support the main organs of the body. Okay. Now, talking about the bone, it is a strong and non-flexible tissue. That is why sometimes because of a fall or, because of wrongly bending, our brain, we get a fracture in the bone, right? Is there anyone in the class who has had a fracture?
No, ma'am.
I
Who,
have
okay, where?
my
Your arm. Okay, and who,
yeah.
who else said? Who else had?
Ma'am, ma'am,
Rima,
what did
you
you
had
have?
a.
No, ma'am. I didn't.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So and how did you have the fracture, Galvin? You
Ma'am,
fell
I
on?
just fell on my
Yeah.
arm very bad and just broke it. It's
Yes.
fractured.
Yes. Yes. See, why did you have a fracture is because the bone is actually non-flexible. It is not flexible at all. So even if you fall on it very hard, so that bone might break. Okay. And when the bone breaks, that is known as a fracture. So you must know that the bone, first of all, it is strong. No wonder. But apart from that, it is non-flexible in nature. Okay. When it
Yes,
is
ma'am.
non-flexible, you cannot bend it according to your own will. It will break. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now the bone, it is made up of calcium and phosphorus compounds. You might have heard that people take calcium supplements to make their bones stronger. We are
Yeah.
advised to drink milk to make our bones stronger because the milk contains calcium, isn't it?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
Why do we like take calcium supplements and take drink milk? Is because the bones are made up of calcium, and apart from calcium, it is also made up of phosphorus. Okay.
Okay.
Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Oh,
Okay. Very good. Now, there are so many bones in our body, and you may see that all the bones are connected to each other in some way. So, the bones are actually connected to each other with the help of ligament. Okay, a ligament is another type of connective tissue. Okay, you must remember that the ligament is responsible for attaching two bones together or connecting them together. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Which is that connective tissue that attaches two bones together? Tell me.
Ligament.
Sorry, ma'am.
Ligament is that tissue, isn't it?
Sorry, ma'am. I didn't hear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Pay attention. Okay. So ligament is a connective tissue which will actually connect two bones together. Bone is also a connective tissue and ligament is also a connective tissue. Now, talking about the ligament. So ligament is very elastic. Okay. And it has a considerable strength. It is very like it has strength also. And ligaments contain very little matrix. Okay. It contains very little matrix. Okay. Students, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, apart from that, the ligaments, they contain very little matrix. Now, let us talk about the tendons. Now, see, tendon is another type of connective tissue and it would connect the bone to the muscles. Okay. Bone to bone is connected by ligament. Bone to muscle is connected with the help of tendons. Okay. Now, these
Ma'am,
tendons,
what about
yeah,
what about the bone?
bones are connected to bones with the help of ligaments, which is a connective tissue. Bones are
So
connected,
bone to bone.
yeah, bone to bone with ligaments, bone to muscle with tendon. This is like sometimes, we get confused a lot. So always remember B to B with the help of ligament, P to M with the help of tendons. Okay, bones to
Okay.
bones with the help of ligament, bones to muscles with the help of tendons. Now, talking about the tendons, they have great strength, but they are not that much flexible. They have limited flexibility. Okay. They have limited flexibility. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what all connective tissues have we seen? Can you name them from the beginning?
Blood, bone,
Blood.
ligament,
Blood is
bone,
there. Bone is there. Okay. Then
ligament, and tendon.
ligament and tendons. Okay. Now let us talk about another type of connective tissue, that is cartilage. Okay. Now cartilage is a connective tissue with widely spaced cells. So here the cells are spaced at a distance from each other, and the matrix of the cartilage, it is made up of proteins and sugar, like how bone was made up of phosphorus and calcium compounds. Same way, the cartilage is made up of proteins and sugars, and the cartilage smoothens the surface of the bones at the joint. Okay. And you might have seen that cartilage is actually very flexible. It is present in the ear. Are you people like, can you people fold your ear with the help of your hand?
Yes.
Everyone can do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, can you fold your forearm in the middle? Hmm?
I don't understand.
What?
I don't understand.
For example, if this is your hand, okay, these are your fingers. Can you like, and this is your elbow part, okay? From here you can fold your hand, isn't it? From the elbow part.
Yes.
But can you fold your hand
Ma'am.
from here?
No.
No, ma'am.
No, because your hand will break, right? The bone will break. So the reason why I'm saying is that cartilage is actually flexible, and because of that, you can actually fold the area. Okay, it is very flexible. And where is it present? So cartilage is present in the nose, it is present in the ear, it is present in the trachea and the larynx. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now talking about another type of connective tissue, that is areolar connective tissue. Okay, areolar connective tissue. Now this tissue, it is found in between the skin and the muscles. Okay, the first location is in between the skin and the muscles. Then it is found around the blood vessels. Okay, this is the second location. And it is also found around the nerves, and then it is found in the bone marrow. So this areolar tissue is actually present in so many places. The first one is in between the skin and the muscles. Then it is present around the blood vessels. Then it is present around the nerves, and then also in the bone marrow. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let us see what are the functions of the areolar tissue. So the areolar tissue fills the space in between the organs. Okay, meaning inside the organs, the space is filled with areolar tissue. It supports the internal organs and it helps in the repairing of tissues. Okay, these are the functions of the areolar tissue. Is it clear to everyone? Areolar tissue?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us talk about another type of connective tissue, that is adipose tissue. Okay, adipose tissue. Now, this tissue, it stores fat. Okay, so it is the fat storing tissue of our body. It is present below the skin. The first location, it is present below the skin. And then this adipose tissue is present in between the internal organs. Okay, so it like the location, two locations we have got. The first one is below the skin, and then there is in between the internal organs. Is it clear to everyone? This is the location. Okay, now talking about the adipose tissue cells. Okay, the cells of this tissue, they are filled with fat globules. Okay, since it is the fat storing tissue, so obviously it is filled with fat globules. And because of the storage of fat, it acts like an insulator. Insulator is that it protects from the cold. It provides heat. Okay, the fat tissue, fat storing tissue, which is the adipose tissue, it acts as an insulator, meaning it provides heat. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So what all uh, different types of connective tissues did we study about? We studied about blood, we studied about bone, we studied about cartilage, tendon, ligament, areolar tissue, and then adipose tissue. So these are all the different types of connective tissues in our body. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
what about ligament? There's no ligament tissues.
Ligament is there. Ligament
Okay.
is also a connective tissue. It's right here.
Oh yeah, I
I have told.
Hmm? Okay. So now tell me, tendon connects what to what? Tell me, tendon
Bone to
connects
muscle.
bone to muscle, and
Bone to
ligaments
muscle.
connect.
Bone to bone.
Very good. Is it clear to everyone?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Rima, can you tell me ligaments would connect what to what?
Bone to bone.
Very good. And tendons would connect?
Bone to muscle.
Very good. So see, first of all, you people note this down. Okay. so that
Okay.
you can remember what are like the different types of connective tissues present in our body, and then you note about the rest of the things. Okay, so first you do this and then tell me you're done, then we'll move on to the beginning. Okay,
I'm already done, ma'am.
this part you've written.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the others?
One minute, ma'am.
Tell me. Done.
No, 1 minute.
Okay, okay, take your time, tell me once you're done.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone's done. Galvin, are you also done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what about Sayyid Zaid? Are you also done?
Done, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, it's all about connective tissue only, right?
Everything, the blood and everything. This part, the yellow thing, this is not. Okay, this is not there.
Okay.
Only the green part.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone's done.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Ma'am.
Everyone's done? What about the others? Rima, are you noting it down?
Yes, ma'am, I'm done.
Okay.
Ma'am, what are examples of tendon?
What is the example of tendon?
Yes, sir.
Tendon itself is present in between the muscle and the bone. There is no example here.
So it's like
It's a muscle in
the
itself.
substance.
Okay.
Okay,
Like
ma'am.
how there is, sorry, it's a connective tissue in itself. Okay. So like
Okay.
how the normal tissues are, it is present in between the bone and the this muscle. Okay. There is no example. Wherever
Okay.
it is present, it is known as tendon.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What about the others? Is everyone done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Everyone's done? What about the others? Quickly respond so that I will like scroll the screen for you. Students,
Yes, ma'am.
done?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now connective tissue has been done. Now let us talk about the next type of tissues, that is muscular tissue. Okay, meaning muscles. Okay. So now it contains elongated cells which are known as the muscle fibers. Okay, the muscular tissues contain cells that are elongated and they are known as muscular fibers, and it is responsible for the movement in our body. Whatever movement takes place in our body, it is happening because of the muscles only. Muscles and bones, both. Okay. So the movement in our body, it happens because of the muscular tissues that are present in the body. Now, muscular tissues, they have a very special thing about them is that they can, contract and relax because of the presence of a contractile protein. Okay, they have this ability through which they can contract and relax also. Okay, this is a very special thing about the muscles. Now, in our body, there are three types of muscles. The first one is skeletal muscles, then there is smooth muscles, and then we have cardiac. Now, skeletal muscles are those muscles that are attached to the bone. Okay, the muscles which are attached to the bones, they are known as the skeletal muscles. It is also known as striated muscles because striated, why? Because it has, lining or striped appearance. Okay, so that is why it is known as striated muscles, because it has a striped appearance and it shows light and dark bands or striations. Okay, you can say one dark band, one light band, one dark band, one light band, like that. The whole muscle is arranged. Okay. Now, the cells of this skeletal muscle, they are long, they are cylindrical, meaning cylinder-like, they are unbranched and multinucleated. It has many nuclei present. Okay. Now they are under our control. So that is why they are known as the voluntary muscles. So the other name for skeletal muscle is voluntary muscles because they are under our control. Like we can lift our hand up, put it down on our own will, right? So that is why the skeletal muscles, they are known as voluntary muscles. And the example is the muscles of the limb. The limb can be forelimb, which is your hands, and it can be hind limb, which is your legs. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now talking about the smooth muscles. Now these are involuntary muscles, meaning not under our control. They are unstriated, they do not have any dark light band, and they are spindle shaped and uninucleated. Like how the skeletal muscles were cylindrical, but the smooth muscles are spindle shaped and uninucleated. They have only one nucleus. Okay. Where is it present? So it is present in the iris of the eye, it is present in the uterus, it is present in the bronchi of the lungs. And you cannot control any of these things. Whatever happens in the uterus, can you control it? No. So that is why the muscles present in the uterus, muscles present in the bronchi, all of these are involuntary muscles. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Now let us talk about the third type of muscle, that is cardiac muscles. So cardiac muscles are the muscles of the heart. So the heart is made up of cardiac muscles. These are also involuntary, not under our control. Okay, and they are cylindrical, they are branched, and they are uninucleated. Okay, they are cylindrical, just like how skeletal muscle was, but this is involuntary. No one can stop their own heartbeat, isn't it? Why? Because the muscles of the heart are involuntary in nature, not under our will, not under our control. Okay, it is not under our control. So, are the three types of muscles clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts? Hmm? All right. So, okay. So, after the muscular tissue comes the nervous tissue. Okay. Now, the brain, the spinal cord, the nerves in our body, all of them are made up of nervous tissue. Okay. Now, the cells of the nervous tissue, they are known as neurons. Like how the cells of the muscular tissue were known as muscles. Same way, the cells of the nervous tissue will be called as the neurons or the nerve cells. Okay. And you can say that neurons are the functional unit of the nervous system or the nervous tissue. They are the functional unit. Like how cell is the basic functional unit of life. Same way, neurons are the functional unit of nervous tissue. Now, the cells of the nervous tissue, they are highly specialized for being stimulated and then transmitting the stimulus very rapidly from one place to another in the body. They can pick up the stimulus as soon as, like, for example, when you touch something hot or when you touch something, you have the feeling that you're touching something, right? That feeling is there because of the nervous system, because you have an impulse or stimulation taking place. Okay,
Okay.
is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let us see what are the different parts of the neuron. Since neuron is the basic unit, so we'll see what are the different parts. So the first part is a cell body, this part. Okay, this is a cell body. The cell body contains the nucleus. This is the nucleus. Okay. Now, apart from that, there are dendrites present. These branch-like structures, they bring the information to the cell body, meaning from different areas, the dendrites will bring the impulse or information to the cell body. Then from the cell body arises a long portion which is known as axon. It is the single long part. Okay. So what are the parts? These are your dendrites.
Ma'am, can you just explain once again?
Yes, I'm talking about the different parts of a neuron. So the first part is a cell body. This cell body, this part that I have labeled is known as the cell body. It contains a nucleus and it has a cytoplasm. Then there are
Okay.
branch-like structures which are known as dendrites. Okay. Now, what is the function of the dendrites? They bring all sorts of impulses, stimuli to the cell body. Then from the cell body arises a long single portion which is known as the axon. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Now talking about the length of the nerve cell. So the length of the nerve cell is 1 meter. Okay. Now, many nerve fibers, they bound together by connective tissue and make up a nerve. Okay, so you can say that a nerve is made up of many nerve fibers coming together and being, bounded by a connective tissue. Okay, and whatever signal that is actually being transmitted or being brought to the cell body, that signal is known as the nerve impulse. That signal is known as the nerve impulse. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so with this, we have actually completed the chapter tissues. Okay, now we will be like continuing with the improvement after you done you're done noting it down. Okay, so now you can note it down.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, just a minute. I didn't done.
Okay, okay,
Sorry.
okay, it's all
Okay.
right.
done.
Done, student?
Yes.
Write down a little quickly because we're running out of time. The class is about to be over. So you write down quickly, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, students, let's do one thing. Since the time is over, like in the next class, I'll give you the time to note it down. Okay. From the nervous tissue, I'll give you the time to note it down, and then we'll start, like, continue